Hero Nation rolls into the second round. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here on the Holiday Football Show, right here on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media. We thank you for joining us as y'all have each and every week this year. As Holiday advances with the big win over Eastland, 44-7. Coach Kyle Atwood gets his first playoff win as a head coach for Holiday. Good methodical win. Garrett Cox threw a few touchdowns. Tyrese Polite had a good game. We're going to talk to Coach about him. I think he's one of those guys that has embodied why Holiday is as successful of a program, not only at football, but all the sports. And it's because that team mentality and doing what's best for the team. Because, you know, Polite's a kid that last year ran for nearly 1,000 yards in that bevy of back offense that Eagles have. This year, he's not been used as much, but he's still just as vital, and especially when you get into these playoffs. And so I was very impressed with his game and just very impressed with the methodical nature that Holiday did to beat Eastland, especially in that first half. You know, you start the game off with a kickoff return for a touchdown, boom. Next thing you know, you're up 28-0, and you're on to the second round. Their second round opponent's Leonard, who pulled off, I think, a little bit of an upset over Palmer, 35-28. Not that Palmer was anything great, and I'm not trying to claim that even that district was that great. But still, I think that was a really good win. I mean, every playoff win's a good win, but I think for a young program, or young team, not a young program, but a young team, I think that was a really good win. And they are a very young team. I mean, when you look at who their guys are, including their quarterback, Jacoby LeCook, who is an absolute beast, and he's just a sophomore. And they have a few of those on the team like that. Cy Marshall's a sophomore. They have an offensive line that I think has 2 sophomores or 3 sophomores. And these were all freshmen that were playing last year. So, you know, this is a team that's on the upswing. And so it's going to be an interesting matchup to see how they're able to handle the experience and the maturity and the physicality of what Holiday does. As always, we're going to be talking to the head coach of Holiday, Coach Kyle Atwood, about the win against Eastland, about the matchup against Leonard. And we'll do all that when we come back right here on the Holiday Football Show on L4 Media. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, a lineman climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at L4FRclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. Terry Bennett back here on the Holiday Football Show, now joined by the head coach of the Eagles, Coach Kyle Atwood. And, Coach, congratulations, your first playoff win as the Holiday Eagle football coach. What were your thoughts on that win against Eastland?
I thought our kids came out and played really well. We talked all week about the importance of starting strong and setting the tone for our playoff run, and I think we did that. Obviously, with the kickoff return for a touchdown to start the game off, that's a really good way to get it started. But our energy was good. The excitement to play a Friday night playoff football game was awesome, and we looked really good for sure for 24 minutes, and obviously some things that we've got to continue to get better on, but very proud of our kids, their efforts, and that win on Friday night.
Well, and you talk about, again, the kickoff return to start, but also just playing a team in Eastland who, as you and I were talking about very talented, but very young. And those are the type of teams you want to jump out on early, especially. And what y'all did in that first quarter, you just basically never gave them a chance to get off the mat.
Yeah, I mean, we knew, watching film on them throughout the entirety of their year, that games that they were stuck in, they finished really strong and won some of those things. And so we knew the importance of trying to get ahead of the eight ball and make sure that, that we were, up a couple scores to make them have to chase rather than be in the game late. And, I think our kids did a good job of executing that.
When you look at your offense, and we've talked about it all year, you're wanting that balance. What a team gives you, you want to take, and y'all have 166 through the air, 175 on the ground. I mean, that's that perfect balance you've been talking about all year.
Yeah, I felt like we played really good offensively the first half, and then had some busts the second half. But a lot of that was owed to Eastland. I mean, their kids played hard. They had a really good defensive scheme, and they were sending a lot of different movements and pressures that we had seen through the week in practice, but we hadn't necessarily seen over the course of the year. And so we had some miscommunications and caused us to be in some bad situations and some drop back. Then they moved their guys and slanted them to some great positions in some of our run game. But overall, we were very balanced. I felt like our offensive line played really well. Tyrese Polite ran the ball well. And then Grant, we hadn't seen him as a runner too much, since that City View game. And whenever we put it in his hands, I mean, he hit the hole hard. He's a big body, hard to bring down, but he's running the ball really hard right now. And so, we saw some really good things. We also saw some things that we've got to continue to improve on. So, but overall, very, very proud of the offensive production on Friday night.
And, we haven't really talked about this, but you talk about a player like Tyrese Polite and the things that he was asked to do last year and the things that he's asked to do this year. Some are the same and some are different. But for me, he epitomizes what you and I always talk about on the air and off the air, that holiday, attitude of, hey, you tell me what I need to do, coach, and I'm going to go do it, whether I get great stats out of it or if I'm just one of the guys.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a kid that always has a smile on his face. He's going to go do whatever he's asked to do, to the best of his ability. I think early on in the season, he didn't play with as much confidence as he should have, and through the course of the season and later on through district play, he started having more and more success. So I think he's playing with a lot of confidence right now, which in turn makes him a better player for us. But great kid, and all of our kids really are. But yeah, he's one that you say you want all of our guys to be like, which is come to work every day with a positive attitude, a great work ethic, smile on his face, and just love to be a Holliday Eagle. So we're very proud of him and excited to have him on our team. That's for sure.
And you bring up that word confidence, and I know that gets thrown around a lot, but as a coach, explain the difference between a kid that's not confident in his step and a kid that it feels like he knows everything that you're teaching him and he's ready to play.
Yeah, whenever you get out on the field on Friday night, and we saw it early on, when you lack that confidence, whether it's just knowing exactly what our schemes are or how we should block things or where I should be hitting the hole or who exactly I'm supposed to be blocking, those sort of things, you play a little timid and a little shy. And so you see that the first few weeks offensively we struggled, especially there against Jim Ned. And then, Idalou, we had some success, and then we got in the red zone and couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And we flipped over and jumped into our wing stuff, which was something they've done for a number of years, that the kids had confidence in, that they knew how to block it, they knew where to go, what hole to hit, those sort of things, and we just turned it on. And so then we get in the film room on Saturday, and we're trying to talk them through the fact that, hey, all of these things are exactly like they are if we're in our gun stuff. We're just taking these guys and putting them out here to where the defense has a spread out with us, and now we can throw a little bit of pass game in with it, and they've kind of started to gain a little more confidence and play a little bit faster and a little more physical and put themselves in position based upon where the play is going to be and those sort of things. And so You see teams that, that have had sustained success for a number of years. Well, they've historically probably have been running the same offense and defensive schemes, and those kids, they understand those schemes, and then they've won a lot of games, so they have confidence in what they do. And so, that's where we're hoping to get to here in the near future. I think we're making strides, both offensively and defensively, and special teams. We've had some really good things in the special teams. But yeah, when you're playing with confidence, you're just able to play a little bit faster. You're able to execute a little bit better, and so we're proud to be where we're at, and obviously we've got to continue to improve in some areas, but our kids are understanding what we're wanting to do, and then playing with that confidence.
All right, you move on to the second round. You go from one young team to maybe a team that's even younger, but I think a little bit better, and that's in the Leonard Tigers. Man, this is an athletic team. They're super young. They're super talented. What are your thoughts when you see them?
Yeah, they've played some really good football throughout the course of the year, similar to that Eastland team. They are young. Quarterback's a sophomore. They've got a few more sophomores and freshmen on that team that are big playmakers for them. A lot of speed and a lot of athleticism. So, we're going to have to play some really good defense. I feel good about our defensive game plan. And, I think that you look at Leonard and their running back, he's struggled. People have struggled to bring him down. Mm-hmm. A lot of missed tackles in that Palmer game last week, where he broke a bunch of tackles. So we're going to have to tackle well, keep them bottled up. And they've got a couple of playmakers out on the edge as well. So we're going to have to play some really good defense. And then offensively, they're really good interior wise. Do a little bit of basic stuff defensively, so we kind of know where they're going to be, what their defensive game plan would be based upon what we've seen on film, and we feel confident about that. But we're going to have to really fire off the ball and own the line of scrimmage in order to move that thing on the ground on Friday night, and then take advantage of those rover players out in the hole, and not allow them to be both run and pass players. We're going to have to do a good job in our spacing and alignment, and then do a good job at the quarterback position of RPO and those guys really well.
When you play a team like that, it's kind of like the Eastland thing. You want to jump out early, but as you and I were talking, you were saying we need to finish better. We always hear how coaches can, do things in practice to get a better start. What can you do in practice to get a better finish?
Yeah, I think that, just to continue to let the kids know the importance of every play is the most important play. Forget about the one prior and don't think about the one ahead, but every play is the most important. And so, I think that mentality of I'm going to win this play is one that we're trying to drive into them right now. It's easy to, or not easy, but it's nice to step out there and start really, really fast. But if you don't play every play like it's the most important play, eventually you're going to face an opponent that you're going to give them a little bit, and they're going to get themselves back into the game. And then that momentum bust on their side late in the fourth quarter, could put a game lopsided for you. And so we just really harped in this week about playing every play, whether the score is 0-0 or 44-0 us or 44-0 the other team. Like, it's the most important play, and executing that thing as perfectly as we can.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. And you can see it all on our YouTube channel at L4 Media Company. Like and subscribe. One more week, and we are in Thanksgiving football. That's my favorite week of Texas high school football. Even over the state championship week. I mean, I love state championship week, but there's also, and it's one of the few knocks for me on a central location, it's when the game is over, it's just like there's no time to celebrate. Like they hand out the medals, a little bit of video, and then boom, on to the next game. And so I think the celebration and the sitting back and relaxing and, we did it moment kind of gets lost. And also there's the finality of it. I'm not ready for the season to end. So I go back to Thanksgiving week is just my favorite because it's Thanksgiving. And you get Thanksgiving football. You get, on the NFL on Turkey Day and on college. And, next year starting back, hopefully we'll get Aggies and Texas back on Thanksgiving or at least on Friday. But it's just like a whole weekend of football that starts on Thursday. And I know technically that you could say, well, that's like that every week. And it is. But with high school, it's the finality of also these games, it's win or go home. And so I don't know. But then you still have 3 more weeks of the playoffs. That's that thing about Thanksgiving is that's just when the last high school game is played on Thanksgiving weekend, that's just the halfway point of the playoffs. We've still got 3 more weeks of it. And so that's why I love Thanksgiving football. And that's why I know every program, that is the big thing. You want to be practicing on Thanksgiving morning. That's always the goal of any team, and Holiday's one game away from doing it. And I think we all know that they should be able to make it. Leonard is a very athletic team. I think Leonard over the next couple of years could give teams a lot of problems, and depending on where they end up regionally, they could be fun to watch. But the size, the strength, the maturity, there is so big of a difference between a sophomore and a senior football player at the high school level. That's why, you'll have teams that'll have a couple of freshmen, a couple of sophomores that make impact, some of them maybe even stars. But it's really, really hard to have a team of them go really, really deep into the playoffs simply because they're going up against guys that maybe only 2 years, 3 years difference on the calendar, but on the, the maturing of going through puberty and all that, there's a big difference between a 14-year-old sophomore and a 17, 18-year-old senior player. And Holiday's just a better football team. Any questions, thoughts, or comments, you can email them to me, Terry at s2ssport.com. Now, next week, we normally record these on Thursdays. In fact, I'm actually recording this right now Thursday at 5 p.m. But because it is Thanksgiving next week, we will do that show probably on Wednesday morning, and then I'll get it out as soon as I can and put it up on all the social medias. Of course, our social medias at L4 Media Company on YouTube. On Facebook, just type in L4 Media Company or Sideline to Sideline. On Twitter, at Grant and Terry, that's the Sideline to Sideline one, or at L4 Media. Speaking of Sideline to Sideline, if you're wanting to take a peek ahead and look at what's going on in the other side of the 3A Division II playoff world, check out Sideline to Sideline, the 3A show. We talk all of the state. We pick every playoff game each week. We do that for 3A, we do that for 4A, and we do that for 2A. If you're going to the game, be safe, have fun, and let's meet back next week right here on the Holliday ISD Football Show on S2S Sports, part of L4 Media.